I'm Sandra Doweck, guest host on Living 365 TV. Today, it's time to stop waiting and start living 365.
Hi, I'm Rita Roberts. I'm a guest host today on Living 365. It's time to stop waiting and time to start living 365.
Hi, I'm Priya, host of Living 365 TV today. It's time to stop waiting and start living 365. Welcome to Living 365 TV, the show designed to help you stop waiting and start living. We're here to bring you real experts, real tools for real people like you. Welcome back to our show. We're so glad to see you again. Today we're talking about parenting issues, and not even issues, challenges, things that are going on for parents and kids. I myself am a single mother of 4 children, ranging from 6 to 17, 2 boys, 2 girls. I get the full gamut going on. So I've brought in some experts today to talk about the things that we parents are facing and some of the things our kids are going through as well. Joining me, I have Sandra Doweck, parenting coach from PT Coach Parenting Solutions. Welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. And Rita Roberts, also known as Reiki Rita. She's an intuitive healer, teacher, author, and spiritual life coach. Welcome, Rita. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Now, some people might be looking at me saying, why do we have the spiritual coach at the parenting show? And I want to start right off the bat by saying, parenting is something that involves mind, body, and spirit, I believe. So we've brought Rita in here to give us that perspective today. And Sandra has got her coaching practice going on, so she's going to give us some great tips.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Thank you. So you have 4 children.
I do. I have 4 children of my own. My oldest is 17, 16, 13, and then a 3-year-old.
Wow, 3 teenagers at the
3
same time.
teenagers, that's correct.
Very nice.
3 of them are unique themselves.
Yeah.
So it has been challenging, but they are amazing.
Oh,
Yeah, and it's been a blessing.
that's amazing.
Yes.
And Rita, you?
I have 3 as well. 24, 26, 28.
Okay.
So I bypassed the sort of physical needs. Now I'm into the mental, emotional
Okay.
parenting.
Right.
So
right.
it's a different sort of challenge. And again, no one prepares you for this.
Yeah.
So I think what I want to add is that I'm bringing an energetic perspective
Yes.
to parenting.
Okay.
Because we all know as parents, it's physically exhausting. So
Absolutely.
that's the spin that I want to take.
Yes.
Talk about energy and where a parent's
Right.
energy lands, and then
Right.
what happens
Right.
when it's high and what happens when it's low.
Right. And that's where I come in as well, is that it doesn't have to be exhausting. There are techniques, there are
Exactly.
things that I can do to help make parents' lives much easier so they don't have to feel that exhaustion.
I love this. So it's like, this is sort of what we're facing, and you're like, and we don't have to face
We
it.
don't
So
have
it's
Yeah,
sure, help is
exactly.
already on the way.
Yes.
Now, I
Yes.
know as in our little green room, as we like to call it over there,
Right.
I heard the conversation as I was
Right.
preparing about
Yes.
sleep, and
Sleep.
I want to touch on that right away, because
Okay.
from the minute your children are born, your sleep patterns change radically.
Absolutely. they
And
do.
I'm just curious what you see and what you've seen as well, Rita, in terms of how that affects yourself as a parent,
Okay.
and also how sleep patterns can actually impact our children.
Absolutely. Children can't focus. They don't grow when they are lacking sleep. And I think that is one of the biggest issues that I'm seeing with children. They are sleep deprived. Parents are having to lie in bed with them for hours and or having to sleep with them overnight in their beds, and the child is not getting the well rest that they need. So I think that is one of the biggest issues, is sleeping.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you finding the same thing?
Well, here's absolutely. Here's my perspective. I'm always, anyone who knows me will always hear me say balance, balance, balance. Because let's face it, we can't be healthy all the time.
No.
We can't be unhealthy all the time.
No.
So we can't be good all the time, can't
Right.
be bad all the time. So as humans, we want to kind of find an even kilter. Children are exhausted because parents are exhausting them.
Absolutely. Yes.
Parents are exhausting them because
Yes.
there's a lot of guilty parents out there. A lot of
Yes.
parents that feel
Right.
shamed or
Yes.
tired, so they sort of take the easy way.
And
Sure,
that's what
Sandra,
we
you
were
find
talking
that.
about in the green room is
Yes.
that what I'm finding is that parents have a very short period of time with their children at nighttime. The last thing they want to do is discipline their children
Yes.
when they get home. So all these children are getting away with a lot of unnecessary behaviors, right? Which causes even more stress and exhaustion on the parents. But if they understand that their child is looking for attention, there's ways of giving your child that attention in a positive manner, and rather than them coming home and acting out and receiving your negative attention,
Yes.
right? So that is what I'm finding.
And definitely something I've learned over the years is quality versus the quantity. So
Absolutely.
having, for those of us, and for those of us who only have one, but even for those of us who have multiple children, to be
Right.
all things to all of your children and give them the same individual attention that you want to give to each one, it's very difficult to do. And I had to learn, especially once I became a single mother,
Right.
is to spend quality time with them.
Yes.
I used to try and bring activities together that were all four, and I stopped
Right.
doing that.
No.
But because it's very tiring.
No.
But I wonder too with regarding the sleep, and when you say that kids having, because I know what you're talking about, having to stay there and lay down with them, but also the amount of stimulation that we're getting
Right.
throughout the day, not only
Yes.
as children but
Yes.
as adults,
adults.
in terms of even kind of shutting the body down
Right.
because the mind keeps going.
Yes, absolutely. I'm finding that parents are completely stressed out at nighttime, so they're very high tense. And the children feel this. They sense their amount of stress. So in
Absolutely.
turn, their children are going to be stressed. I get, a lot of, why does my child behave like this? Why does my children act like this? And then I go into their home, and usually I can point it out
You're like,
pretty quickly.
This would be why
Yes.
that's happening.
Yes, yes. And a lot of parents have a hard time of picking up the phone because they feel like, okay, should I ask for help? And if I do, am I going to be judged? Right? Like, am I going to be judged? Are they going to frown against me with my parenting? No, absolutely not.
Right.
I want to come in and I want to help you develop different techniques to make your life easier and to take away a lot of that stress that the families are feeling every day, so that parents can have that. And my big goal, the reason why my company is called Parent Time, is to allow the parents their parent time away from their children as well. So when your children are where they need to be, then the parents can be where they need to be.
Yeah.
So
And do you find though that more parenting, because we use the term parenting, but and the men are maybe going to write into me on this one. I find that women tend to be the ones that try to correct parenting more than, or correct is maybe the wrong word, but they're more concerned, or they have more guilt over their
Yes,
parenting
absolutely.
than men do. I don't know what you all see in your practices.
Before I sort of tackle that,
Yep.
I want to agree with something Sandra said. So what you're going in as a professional is from the intention of love.
right.
To help these people
Absolutely.
recreate love
Yes.
again in their
Love.
lives. Their couplehood. Right. So my book, again, is about parenthood price tags. Heal yourself of family dysfunction. Learn to love your children unconditionally. You can't love unconditionally until you love yourself unconditionally.
Yes.
So many people have come to me through emotional healing,
Right.
depressed, anxious, suicidal. And it always goes back to self-worth.
Right.
I don't see value. I don't love myself.
Right.
Where does this come from?
Right.
So my motto is happy parents, equal happy children, equal happy, let's take it
Absolutely.
further,
Yes.
happy society.
Yes,
We're all worried
absolutely.
about the world out there.
Yeah.
However, families are small cultures. So my motto as well, healing one family at a time.
Right.
So here's the deal. If everybody gets happy,
Right.
which is the highest vibration,
Right.
closest to love,
Okay.
right? Then a lot of this stress, we lose a lot of energy
Right.
to unhappiness.
Absolutely.
We've got people in hating their jobs,
Yes.
hating their
Yeah.
life,
Mhm.
hating their body,
Right.
hating their partner. You know what I mean?
I see
So
a lot
that's
of
a lot of
your
energy
last
loss.
point. Unfortunately, I do see a lot of that.
Yeah.
The last thing that parents want to do is they dread the end of the day.
Yeah.
having to go pick up their child and, what's to come. And then, the husband comes home and there's nothing but tension and arguments and fights
Right.
in front of the children. And the children are just like, and then they wonder why their children are feeling the anxiety that they're feeling.
Yeah,
right?
and one of the reasons I was asking the question about the balance in the parenting rules is that I find, if someone's watching today to look at you and to hear how your views, is to really reinforce that there is no judgment from people like
No,
yourself,
absolutely
because
not.
people, it tends to be, I feel that's where I was going with it, is
Right.
more women, we tend to feel like we're supposed to just naturally know how to
Know
mother.
how
It's
to do it.
innate.
No.
You're born with, it's an
No,
instinct, mother's
absolutely not.
instinct, right? But
nothing
there are certain
natural about
things
it.
that, so they don't reach out for help because they
Right.
feel like, and it comes back to what you're saying, because they feel devalued or they feel unworthy or they're
Yes.
failing, that they
Yes.
may not try to engage your services because
Right.
they feel like,
And
well,
that's
you
what I'm
probably have,
finding.
you guys have your
Yep.
shit all together, your
Yep.
kids are perfect,
No,
your children
trust
now are
me,
wonderful,
trust
you don't have
me.
any issues, kind of
Sure.
thing.
I
Let's
didn't
talk
learn
about
this
that.
overnight, right? It took many, many, many years to develop that. I'm a divorcee. I was previously married, and I'm the first one to admit that my ex-husband and I, we did a lot of bickering back and forth in front of our children, and it was completely unhealthy, and it was not fair to them. But it took me years to say, hey, wait a minute, that's not the way that parents should interact in front of their children. That's not fair. And then stopped doing that and realized, that my children, hey, they're happy when I'm happy,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Because from the energetic perspective, I know when I'm stressed, busy, overwhelmed, my energy changes, and I always often liken myself to the epicenter. And like, do, I send out these little vibes, and I can start to see it one by one. My kids start to get off kilter because my energy is not balanced and grounded. And
Right.
when you're the epicenter,
Right.
now everybody else trickling off of you now is shifted as well. So
Right.
the behaviors start changing, the tempers start flying,
Right.
somebody's hitting, and there's a lot more crying going on.
yes, oh yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I guess what people don't realize is that parenting is the single most hardest job out there.
It's the
You are molding and
Yes.
shaping
Right.
another human being.
For
All
the
right?
rest of
It's
their
not like
lives.
any other job. You can go in, take a course, download the manual. Okay. So in my mind, this is where I sort of become that advocate for children. No longer are we going to use this sort of excuse. There's no manual for this. There's a manual for everything out there. Let's
Yeah.
create one.
Right.
So I think it's high time that parents learn the skill.
Right.
You would never ever think about getting in a car without learning how to drive it.
right?
But yet we got parents parenting by trial and error, hoping that out of the 5 kids, my mother used to say this, maybe one of you will be a good one. Oh my God, no pressure there. Am I the good one? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I actually, in fact, played the good one, but you know what? I was never the bad one.
Right.
So I was so out of balance.
Right.
My life I was this chameleon. I was through my marriage, through my life.
Yeah.
It was like, what do you want me to be? I'll be it. So I never knew who I was.
No.
So
and neither
and
did
that's
I.
the thing.
Yeah.
And parenting is a feeling job. It's not an aesthetic job.
Yeah.
So it's not, well, it is and it isn't. So what happens is parents go in doing all what they think, the
Right.
physical right stuff.
Right.
But they're not into what the child, I think what
What
she
their
said,
needs are.
Sandra. Children are feelers. They're just like animals.
Yes,
They
that-
feel your energy.
That is true.
So if you're off kilter, guess what?
They
Baby's
are off.
upset.
Yes.
So how do we get that? How do we get parents back
Right.
to being happy,
Right.
grounded, not perfect,
Yes.
perfect in human, what is it? Imperfect humans can't be perfect parents. I get this all the time. No such thing as a perfect family. And I said, you're absolutely right. Because imperfect humans cannot raise a perfect family.
Right.
I'm talking about a healthy
Family.
Yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. My goal with families is that when I sit down with families, I actually go back and I want to find out what their relationship was like before they had children. I want to see, what the dating situation was like, what the dynamic was like, what sort of things they did together. And my goal at the end of the program is to bring that back. Because once I bring that back, the children are so happy to see that. They're seeing the love between their parents, you know, and that is so important. You know, I get a lot of, well, I can't date my husband because we can't have a babysitter. I have 4 kids. What do you mean I can't get out, right? Absolutely. You don't have to go out to date your significant other. At the end of my program, I leave them with I decorate a little love jar for them. And inside I put in-home date ideas.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And I tell them, you know, once, you know, a couple times a month, pull out something, read it, and take turns doing the date for each other inside your home. And it brings back that spark, right? Mm-hmm. And when you get your children situated and you get your children sleep in the way that you want them to sleep, then you have the time for that.
Absolutely.
Right?
Definitely. One of the things I also noticed for myself as a parent is that I've done it and I see other parents doing it. I saw my parents doing it. We try to correct the issues where we felt maybe our parents were lacking. Right. Or so whatever we think was good about our parents, we repeat that.
Right.
Whatever we think was bad about our parents, we don't do it. So
right.
For instance, I had 2 executive professional parents. So that from the time I was 5, they were out of the home. I was mostly raised by my maternal grandmother.
Okay.
My sister was 7 years older, so I was practically raised by her. As a result, I worked from home. Like I feel like because my parents were never at home, they were never available to attend any of my school functions or anything I was involved in. Whereas I'm here, I make it a point to get to all my kids' stuff. I feel like my kids are like, get out of the flipping house, like you're always here, kind of thing, because I've tried to compensate for what was not there for me. Okay. And I noticed that in my practice a lot with people that have come in or that are parenting, that they're trying to correct their perceived wrongs from their childhood through the way they parent their own children. And yet it only repeats the cycle because they're just not giving the child what they need.
Right.
You bring up a very good point.
There comes a time where you have to break that cycle, right?
And that's kind of where I want to jump on.
Right.
The healing family dysfunction. Mm-hmm. Things will not correct until it's corrected. Right. Nothing will change till something's changed.
Right.
So that same scenario will repeat. So here's what happens. Until the parent goes back and heals what heals them. Mm-hmm. All right, and what happens is, a lot of times it's subconscious. They don't even know. They'll say to me, well, Rita, my mother's dead. She's passed 20 years ago. Guess what? She's still the critical inner voice that lives there. Mm-hmm. So regardless of whether they're physically present or not, you have to heal the past. So a lot of people say, bury it, create a new scenario, but and that's part of the healing process. That's the energy awareness I do with people.
Absolutely.
Heal the past so you can let it go. Here's the best part.
I agree.
Reclaiming the energy that you lost to the past. Because what happens is, most people are fear-based, living in the past. Use a lot of energy to the past. Right. Or they're anxious about the future, which is only an illusion. So they're never in the now. They're never present. Hence, the parents are not conscious. We talk about conscious parenting. And I was telling Sandra earlier, conscious parenting means you're present. Right. Again, going back to what you said, they don't want the gizmo and gadgets. They would trade that in
for your time.
Okay?
Absolutely, they would.
So be present.
Yes.
So what happens is, so many people are guilt-ridden or they're low on energy. So they're like, they know subconsciously they shouldn't give Judy that cell phone, but because they're exhausted, here's a cell phone.
They hand it right over.
And you know what? And so many adult children still home and not being able to function. Parents are still,
still having to parent a 30-year-old.
Or the sense of entitlement that's out there. We have children off balance. Children that think the world owes them something. Right. So these are all examples of out of balance.
I agree with you about healing. I mean, I will share that I had a traumatic experience as a child, and it went on for a good portion of my childhood, and I was having a really hard time with that, but not knowing that I was having a hard time with that, and having my first baby, I didn't feel connected, and I couldn't understand why. And over the years, what I realized is that I haven't dealt with myself, my inner issues. And ever since I dealt with that, it's like...
It's freeing.
Free is like, yes, definitely the word. Freeing. And I just feel like I'm just that much of a happier person.
Yeah.
And I don't have that anger, and I don't have that frustration that I probably had years ago. You know, so you know, I think you're right. Absolutely, dealing with your inner self is extremely important in order to raise healthy children.
Yeah. And by healing those issues for yourself,
Yes.
you break the cycle, and that's one of the things
Exactly.
I am reaching out to people and asking them to recognize the cycles of your own life, your upbringing, and become this generation of cycle breakers.
Yes.
Because it really, you know, we see cycles, people can understand cycles of poverty or cycles of lack of education.
Right.
Cycles of, say, athleticism. It all runs in cycles. So if you look at, say, someone like Tiger Woods, his father was very gifted in golf. It's a cycle for him to repeat the same thing.
Yes.
There are positive cycles and there are negative cycles.
Right.
So to really understand what the cycles are, for me personally, we had a cycle of sexual abuse that ran for generations. And my mother parented out of fear of having that happen, which created law of attraction. I teach, which created that situation for myself and my sister to repeat. When my children were born, I decided my children would be safe.
Yes.
They would be empowered.
Yes.
And that they would be able to be safe in all situations at all times.
Absolutely.
And so that's the cycle break for me.
Right.
You know, and as I said, we do these things, we parent with that, trying to either run from recreating what we perceived was done to us. And you're right, that is the catchphrase is parenting doesn't come with a manual. That I understand. And I equally agree with what you're saying then. Well, then let's make the damn manual. Right? So if that's what we
Stop
need.
making it
Being an excuse like, well, shit, we didn't know how to do this, so we'll just fly by the seat of our pants. Right? Makes sense to me, and which is why you know we are out here doing what we're doing to try and help people, kind of give them a manual that they make for themselves. There won't be one manual for everybody. But it's to engage the services of people like yourselves that can help you create the manual that works for you and your family or the individual.
Right. Every family is completely different. I can go into one home and I'm dealing with a completely different issue than I'm dealing with in another home. So every family is completely different, and their situations are completely different. But you know, like I'm saying, is when parents reach out to me, I find that they're telling me the negativity that they're seeing within their children, and that's great. But when I get into the home, I realize and I see that it's not the children, that it is the parents. And, parents are blinded by that. They don't see it. So, and that's where I come into play, and I sit down, and it may be that tough love, but it helps. And I tell them what I'm seeing and what it is, and these are the things that they can work on. And at the end of the day, they're living a much happier life because they're realizing the changes that needed to be done. So
here's where I found the challenge with the book, because it's been out for a year. So it's the way I brought it out. When you talk about certain key words, dysfunction, people's back gets up. Talk about family, people's back gets up. So I'm basically deflecting and going, oh my God. But yeah, we know this, because they're kind of going, don't say anything about my family, but what? Tell me. Right. So, so there's the common denominator that I found, because yes, every family is unique, because all the people are unique within it. But there is always one fundamental, and that one thing that I found is your happiness.
Happiness. I say,
So if
typically if they're calling me, they're unhappy.
You're vibrating up here.
Yes.
So here's why, and you know what? In defense of parents, we all come in with good intentions.
Oh, absolutely.
We love
of course.
the children.
Yes.
But here's what happens. I thought about this morning in the shower. I'm like, oh, that's what we can't sustain the vibration, because so much of the world is vibrating negatively, fear-based.
Yeah.
So it's like that moment of bliss. So let's say for a moment you're in gratitude. You're thinking, I'm grateful for this. After a while, you turn the news on. Somebody comes in, had a bad day. Here's your energy starting to drop because you're giving. Okay.
Yeah.
So the old trick of it, if it's a trick, is and that's what I teach parents, to energetically observe their energy so that they watch where they're going to give it away. And I do it in a very practical approach.
Okay.
So I teach them, think about your energy as your most valuable possession. Think of it as money. Because everyone can, relate to money. So when I say, let's say that you've got $100 left in your bank, and you need to
Right.
survive.
How are you going to spend
You're
it?
not going to spend it on silly things
I
or
would hope
things
not.
that you don't need.
Right.
You're going to now spend your money on survival,
Mm-hmm.
food, shelter, whatever. So when you're functioning in survival,
Yes.
think of it energetically. What happens is people don't look at money or energy as a necessity.
Right.
So what they do is they max it out.
Right.
So they work later at work.
They
They
do.
give too much to their kids.
Yes.
They listen to their in-laws bickering and
Yes,
family
they do.
drama. So they're giving it away.
Mhm.
So that's what I teach my clients. Think of your energy as money. Now, if Aunt Martha is going to call you and you've got about 50 energetic bucks left, are you going to pick up the phone?
Mm-hmm.
She goes, no, you're not. So don't pick up the phone right now because your energy is low. You're
Right.
going to get maxed out.
Right.
You're going to be unhappy.
Right. You're going to
Right.
be very happy, and I can relate that in my past marriage. My older son, he's on the spectrum, so he has autism, and my middle one, he was born with medical issues regarding tube feedings, and then my third one, he had a developmental disability. And at the same time, I was running a home daycare at the exact same time. So I have 5 other
Wow.
children, plus I have my 3 boys who are a handful. And, at the end of the day, the last thing I wanted to do is interact with my husband. I'm just so exhausted.
spent.
I'm spent. I'm exhausted. And what happens to the relationship at that point?
Absolutely.
And then I feel that, my ex-husband, he's not taking the initiative to help me, right? And then you have that, oh, my husband doesn't do anything, which is what I hear a lot of, or my wife doesn't do anything, so I've learned over the years on, how can I make families' lives easier, and how can I help their marriages be much more successful? And it really comes down to allowing them not to be so exhausted during
Yeah.
the day, at nighttime with their children, just that breathe.
Yeah, and it seems to be the common theme.
Yeah.
It's just interesting that that's how we sort of started the
Right.
show off, but it seems to be the common denominator around all this stuff is the fatigue and the low energy that
Yes.
comes from these things. So
Yeah.
definitely that would be a great way for people to start to raise their energy, raise their
Yes.
happiness levels,
Yes.
and see a change in their homes.
And I
Right.
I was previously married. I am married as well to an amazing man. We have a little girl of our own, and her name is Chloe, and she's 3 years old. And it's been amazing because I've learned over
Yeah.
the years, and the relationship my husband and I have is absolutely amazing. We have time for each other, and I think that is what's really important. And that's just what I want to go out and do. I want to help these families,
Yeah.
have that bond with their significant other, so that they can love each other and love their children the same way.
See, I think
together.
you bring up a good point. Is that you said we have time, you make time.
You make time.
You make time.
You make
So when you
time.
see yourself as valuable, you
Yes.
find time because everyone's got 24/7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's what your priorities are.
Yes.
So if
Totally.
your priority
Yeah.
is connecting to drama, you're going
Yes.
to make time for it.
Yep.
If your priority is to prepare healthy food for your family, you're going to
You're
make
gonna
time
make
for
healthy
it.
food. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's again goes back to the self-esteem.
Yes.
So if your self-worth is healthy, you're going to make time for that.
Mhm.
The other part about self-esteem is you're not afraid to get vulnerable.
Yeah.
I mean, every relationship's about
Mm-hmm.
vulnerability. It's about, am I going to get hurt? Are they going
Right.
to deplete me?
Yeah. Yes.
Children
Yes.
are vulnerable. That's what we love about
Yeah.
them, is that they're not afraid to be inner child. They're all inner child. They're all
Right.
about fun. Me. It's all about ego.
Yeah.
They love themselves.
Right.
Right. So then going back to what we previously talked about, as they start, and that's it. They're the closest thing from heaven that we've got on this planet.
Truly.
So they bring that energy
Right.
with them. So here we come
Mhm.
as parents who are hurting parents. Come with good intention, happy about the child, then reality hits.
Mhm.
You're up 2 o'clock in the morning. You're exhausted.
Yes.
You're this, you're that. You're doing laundry. You're doing that. So energy's going beep, 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 beep.
Yep.
So now baby is still vibrating high.
Yeah.
Still goes, excited.
Yeah.
And this is where some of the postpartum comes into it
Yes.
as well.
Yes.
I suffered from it
I
for a
suffered
little while.
from it as well,
And I
like my first
realized,
son.
yeah,
Mhm.
that it was really a lack of emotional support
Yes.
and
Yes.
big low energy.
Yes.
Exhausted.
Absolutely
So you
exhausted.
factor those two things in. fix them,
Yes.
give the support.
Right.
You know, my
Right.
ex-husband, yeah, there's a chapter in the book on that one as well.
Yeah, I can't say that because I have an amazing relationship with my ex-husband.
Yeah.
We co-parent amazingly, and he's actually
Nice.
one of my best friends.
Me too. I have two
Nice.
two
So
ex-husbands.
Well, ours is
I can't say
amicable, but I
it to
can't
my
say-
ex because
yeah.
he plays a major role in my
Yes.
life.
Oh, he
So
plays a major role.
He plays a
of
major
what
role.
not to do
Yes.
versus what to do.
What to wear, but in parenting, right? What not to do. I get
Exactly.
yeah.
Still working on that one, but
Right.
you know, but
Yeah.
I mean, it was an experience.
Right.
It's a lot
Yes.
of good.
Well, you learn from
as
your
well as-
experiences.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So hence I could get real with my clients.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I've been through a lot of those experiences.
Right.
I'm one of 5, grew up with a sister as well,
Right.
who had spina bifida.
Oh, wow.
So she kind
Okay.
of got the attention.
Right.
So
of
for me, it
course.
was about,
Right.
so I'm thinking, I didn't know it at the time. How does Rita get attention? Being the good child.
Okay.
But that was really hard to sustain.
Yeah.
Because there was a part of me that wanted to be bad.
You're gonna
but,
want to
you know,
act out to get attention. Right? What
I
can
know,
I
it's
do? I'll break a vase today.
That's right. Look
Right?
at me.
Yeah,
so
I'm
like-
here. Yes.
So, and that's the thing, right? It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
how do you
it's
get that
true.
attention? Was a straight A student, this,
Yeah.
that, whatever.
Yeah.
But something always still seemed
Didn't
to
feel
be
right.
missing,
Yeah.
you know? So it wasn't until I started to do that self-discovery. So
Right.
stepping back, I stepped into a marriage that was perfect on paper.
Right.
Good husband, parents loved him, blah, blah, blah. So I did everything right.
Right.
You know, so what was happening?
took
I
the
was
steps.
operating
Yeah.
out of balance, more at higher self,
Mm-hmm.
sort of adult part of our persona. Inner child was pushed right down.
Right.
You see? So after I got divorced, it's all about playtime. You know, it's like bring
Right.
inner child.
Playtime,
Right.
Rita.
You know, so I
It's
can go
time for
from-
me.
Yes.
Yes.
I think we all did. Did you do that too
Yeah.
after?
I'm guilty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not
It's-
guilty
don't feel
though.
I know,
No,
I
you
know.
can-
It's not that I'm
you
guilty.
need to
I
wear-
just,
you can identify.
after raising
Yes.
3 children,
Yeah.
and my ex-husband, he was a very busy man,
Yeah.
and he wasn't home because he didn't want to be home.
Yeah.
It's just he was
Absolutely.
so busy with his
Yeah.
career,
Yeah.
and as much as I knew that, I didn't accept that.
Yeah.
Right? It was like, no. We had these 3 kids together.
Yeah.
You need to
You
be
need to step
here.
it up, brother.
You need to help me. Yeah,
right.
right? And now that I've dealt with that and I realize, okay, you know what? I probably
Yeah.
shouldn't have been the way that I
know.
I was.
If
But
I knew
it's
then
a learning experience.
what I
when
know
you-
now,
I know.
right?
But everything happens for a reason. And hey, look where I am today.
Absolutely.
Right? I have an amazing husband and a little girl. I never thought I would have a little girl
There you go.
after 3 boys.
See?
So everything
There's a
happens
beauty.
for a
There you go.
reason.
Well,
yeah.
the other thing I noticed too with the parenting is that people don't necessarily realize how impactful their day-to-day behaviors
Yes.
and patterns are,
Yeah.
and how they can begin to create those similar patterns, again, cycles I'm speaking of, for their children. So whether it's feeling guilty
Right.
or trying to be perfect
Feeling guilt.
or overachieving
Right.
or self-deprecating talk for
Right.
themselves.
Yes.
The children are learning. We are models.
Yes.
So if you were to teach a child what to do, if you recognize that you are teaching your child
Right.
how to behave
Yes.
based on what you're showing
you're
them,
doing.
because when a baby is born, besides the natural instincts,
Right.
it's everything else is learned behavior.
Right.
All the thoughts are learned thoughts,
Yes.
and we're the ones
Yes.
projecting and
Right.
sending those out to them
Right from day one.
right from day one. As to how you nurture, like the
Yes.
kids, this baby that's crying, whose parents, they send them to a person and the child doesn't
Right.
vibrationally or energetically match,
Yeah,
and they go, no,
yeah,
you
yeah.
have to her, just keep her, she's crying,
Yes.
she'll settle down. It starts to teach
Right.
that baby that my needs are not important,
Right,
that
right.
what I feel is not important,
Right.
I'm supposed to
Yes.
just be stuck with this.
Right.
And so I wonder how you, you teach and raise awareness around that for parents, and really letting them know that even though they may not be telling their child, you know what, feel guilty when you do something for yourself, that their behaviors are
Right.
modeling this.
And that's what I go into the home, and that's what I try to stress the most, is I sit down with the parents and I tell them exactly what I am seeing. And it's the stress that the parents are bringing onto their children is what I see a lot of, and the parents don't see it.
Yeah.
They're not it's not visual to
They're
them,
unconscious.
right? They're not, yeah.
Unconscious.
Right, completely. And, over a period of time, they say, hey, wow, what you told me is absolutely right. I've learned these techniques. I've, learned to calm down. My baby's crying. I'm not jumping to her. I'm not, I'm doing what you told me to do. And wow, my baby will play for 10 minutes by himself now.
Yeah.
Because the parent has all this inner stress, and it just goes on to the baby, onto the child, right?
I want to add
And
that
it
as
brings
well.
it so many
So
behaviors,
that Sandra
right?
says is that you're teaching them how to cope,
I am.
which is great because they're learning these skills.
Right.
And then what you said, Priya, is that the baby's saying, my needs aren't met.
Yeah.
And the parent isn't prepared
No.
to meet their needs.
Right.
Because you know what, sort of unconsciously, they're saying, well, my needs aren't being met.
Yeah.
Right.
Guess what?
But they can't
I'm
verbalize that.
doing that.
Right.
So then you get the controlling parent
Yes.
who will then put guilt on the child
Yes.
by saying, while you're under my roof, as long as you do this,
Right.
this is what I do for you.
Right.
I might appreciate it.
No.
So at the end of the day, you could teach them tools,
Right.
parents,
Yes.
but you can't teach them motivation.
Right.
So they're only going to be motivated by how much they care about or value themselves.
Value
They
themselves.
value themselves, now they're motivated to
Right.
eat well, to discipline, to do what
Right.
they have to do. But that's what I find's lacking. Because there's a lot of talk about what to do, but they're not teaching people how to do it.
Yeah.
So what happens is you go in with good intentions, and then depletion
Yes.
of energy, and then old program behavior will come back.
Absolutely.
And then
Right.
you're gonna slip in there,
Yeah.
and I don't care what books you read, what counseling you
Right.
get.
Doesn't matter.
The only thing that's gonna sustain you is how much value you put on
Right.
yourself.
Right.
So when the child will see that, the child will go, well, Dad wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Mom wouldn't do that, or Mom would do that. Okay, so you planted the seed.
Mm-hmm.
So you could take them to all the therapy you want.
Right.
The best
Right.
therapy is this. And what I find also it's lacking is healthy communication.
Healthy communication
People
is so
don't
important.
know
how
how
to
to
communicate.
talk.
Yes.
And if they do, they're screaming at each other.
Yes, in front of their children.
Because they're wounded.
Absolutely.
They're
Now,
wounded.
this has been, as you can tell, time's flying by. It's
Yeah,
been a great
absolutely.
conversation.
It's been
wonderful.
So I'm going to ask you just for a quick piece of advice before we go to the viewers.
I would say a quick piece of advice is to love your significant other. Spend more quality time with your significant other. Understand that they're craving that. They want that. And a lot of their frustration is that they're probably not receiving that, and in turn, it affects their children. So,
Thank you.
yeah, I would say that's important.
Rita.
I'm going to add to Sandra's. Before you can love your significant others, love you as well, so that you have some love to give.
Yes.
You can't give something that you have nothing
That you,
about.
yes,
So
definitely.
love you,
Yes.
make yourself a priority. That's what I would say.
Yeah, deal
Okay.
with yourself first.
And where can the viewers find you, contact you? What do you have up and
Okay,
coming?
so my website, www.parentingsolutions.ca. I do a lot of children's festival, baby time shows. You can visit my website and find out more information on that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Rita.
I've actually got 2 websites. If you want some one-on-one coaching, you can reach me at reikirita.com. If you want the book, Parents with Price Tags, go to parentswithpricetags.com.
So it's Parents with Price
Parents
Tags.
with Price Tags.
dot com.
More than one tag.
More than one tag.
.com. Yes.
Great, thank you so much,
Excellent.
both
Thank
of you.
you so much.
I'm
Thank you.
actually going to throw it out there right now to invite you back because this was a great
Oh,
episode on
absolutely.
the parents' perspective.
Yes.
But I'd love to delve into your thoughts and your
Yes.
experiences around the kids'
Yeah,
issues as
absolutely.
well. So I'm throwing that out there, and I'm sure the viewers will want to see
Feel
more of
that.
you. Thank
Yes.
you so
Feel
much.
that.
Absolutely.
Thank
Parents,
you.
don't be afraid. Contact me.
Yes, please.
All the best.
Parents out there, parenting is a challenging role. It also is very rewarding. I invite you to really be gentle with yourself in your parenting and know that I'm sure you're all doing the very best you can. We are never getting up to want to hurt our children every day. We're doing the best we can with what we know how. And on that note, though, we can always, as people and as parents, grow in what we do and the way we parent. And as you can tell from my host today, and I encourage you as well, is have that awareness around yourself. Do that healing work for yourself. Bring that love into your own self, because once you're whole and complete within, it can only be the thing that you give out to someone else is the love that's within you, the care that's within you. Once you demonstrate that to yourself, that'll be the only thing that you can demonstrate to your children and as well as your significant other, and improve the level of love, compassion, understanding, and joy in your family. As always, I invite you to remember to stop waiting and start living 365. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you again.